Time now for our monthly gig guide and catch up on the capital's music scene with the Hoxton radio DJ Paul Hanford. Paul, good to have you in the studio.
Thank you very much.
Since the last time we spoke to you, it's been Record Store Day across the country.
Yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago now. Which was the 10th anniversary this year. And obviously it's become like a national institution now, a bit like Wimbledon or Glastonbury.
And one that was celebrated and marked across the capital indeed. If you had a walk around and saw some of the vinyl stores, you would have seen people buzzing around inside there. Yeah, totally.
It's become like, it's always on a Saturday. It's the kind of very nice thing to do, to get a coffee, have a little bimble along your favourite street and find you like a nice record store. And it's become this kind of thing now where bands put on sort of gigs in a day. There's so many releases that are just put out just on that day as well. It's a kind of good day to go and celebrate some kind of dying tradition that seems to be not dying. Like, record sales are on the up. You know, they've overtaken like download sales now.
Which is fascinating.
So it's incredible, really, isn't it?
Changing the tune of things. Yeah. OK, let's have a look at what's upcoming as opposed to what's happened since we last spoke to you. And starting with the relaunch of a pretty legendary club in North London.
That's right. The Highbury Garage has relaunched. That opened officially last week. Now, this kind of marks a change in attitudes to how we kind of actually go out and how we enjoy our live music, because Highbury Garage was very, very famous. Like, it's had everyone from Oasis to Red Hot Chili Peppers to Arctic Monkeys playing. And it was also kind of epitomised that kind of sticky floor, kind of beer-smelling dark pit of a kind of place that I think we used to accept was how we'd consume our music. But in the last 10 years, I think the way we consume music has changed, and I think we expect more. You know, we sit in nicely designed coffee shops, we have immersive secret cinema kind of experiences, and this refit kind of fits with that. You know, it looks like, you go inside it looks like it's part of a David Lynch film, really. There's lots of like pink velvet everywhere and very plush design, and there's a coffee shop out the front now.
It sounds lovely, but I like my live music with a sticky carpet. I don't think that you can separate the two.
Maybe there'll be a resurgence of that as well.
And moving on to your gig guide, you are the man in the know when it comes to what's on across the capital. We're focusing on Brixton's O2 Academy.
That's right. It's Metronomy playing on the 19th. And now Metronomy have had like 10 years of just amazingness, really. Like, I didn't expect, when I saw them play in a warehouse in Brick Lane 10 years ago, when they were just kind of like an instrumental new rave band influenced by the Klaxons, that they would go on to become kind of like alternative poets of the nation, really. You know, they make these kind of oddball pop songs that have kind of followed the kind of cultural way people have grown up in the last 10 years. So it's like a kind of a homecoming for them, really. It's a celebration of like 10 years of really great work.
And that's at Brixton's O2 Academy?
Yeah, on the 19th of May.
And moving on to a festival that is right up my street. Tell us about
yes, yeah. This is the Afropunk Festival. Now, this actually started in Brooklyn in 2005, but it's spread to become an international thing. This is the second year they've held it in London now. Last year it was at Ali Pali, and it was meant to be incredible. It's a celebration of all things Afrocentric and the diversity of African-inspired culture. It doesn't play off the most obvious notes that you would think. You know, so the title is Afropunk. You know, there's a lot of kind of like, you know, it goes to show that African-inspired music is very, very diverse. There's a lot of punk, there's a lot of kind of like jazz-influenced music. And I think one of the big things people do is to go and really dress up.
I was going to say, the thing that I love most, I mean, obviously it all sounds great, but a whole load of glitter going on there.
Oh my God, definitely. Just get influenced. Go and, like, if you Google Afropunk, just look at the pictures that come up, and it's amazing.
Incredible stuff. Finally, Emerging Artist of the Month, who have you got for us?
I've got Richard Dawson, who might be kind of considered oddball corner, really, but I think is fantastic. He's a folk musician from Newcastle, but he's also worked in a record shop for a lot of years, and you can see how these two influences have kind of converged. You've got the kind of Newcastle folk tradition of singing these kind of old songs in pubs with this kind of record store geeky, cool kind of sensibility, and it kind of mixes together, and I think he could be set to be that kind of folk crossover artist that you get a bit like Bon Iver or Joanna Newsom, that every few years kind of leaves the sort of obscurity and ends up on the coffee tables of the country.